Hiya, I'm Peter Laws, and I've just got to show you this pretty mind-blowing new box set from Arrow Video, the limited edition Grudge Collection. And if you want to avoid the curse, by the way, of paying full price for this, then I put a specific link in the description where you can use voucher code revpeterlaws for 5% off. How about that? Well, how about we dive in? I just want to talk to you about this set and show you a few cool pictures of it, and for you to check out the box. Now, the Ju-on franchise is, of course, better known as the Grudge movies, and they've spawned like an army of films, books, TV series, and a video game. But now Arrow have brought together the original, I think the best, Ju-on films to Blu Ray for the first time. And the core film of the lot is Ju-on the Grudge, which even comes as a 4K UHD disc as well as Blu-ray, which is great. And this set comes absolutely bulging with extras. But before we look at that, just look at what you get physically in this set. There's a pull-out double-sided poster with the original artwork for Ju-on 1 and 2. There's a beautiful 60-page booklet with writing from people like Grady Hendrix and William Carroll. This book's exclusive to this set, by the way. You also get an absolute stack of postcard-sized art cards, 24 double-sided ones, so again, you'll only find them in the limited edition. And all the discs feature reversible sleeves too, so you can choose between the original artwork or newly commissioned artwork for this set. There's, I'd say, this slipcase is beautiful and sturdy, and it has the film spread across 4 Blu-ray discs and of course 1 4K UHD disc. Now, disc 1 features Ju-on the Curse and Ju-on the Curse 2 from the year 2000, where we first discover the unique and really scary Ju-on universe. The films follow this unique pattern where we see multiple segments following different characters, all of whom have been touched by Ju-on, this resentment curse. I really love the rhythm of these stories. You'll just get to know a little bit about the character, but then things go quickly spooky, and then by the end there's normally like a pant-wetting terror, nightmarish visual, and then it cuts to black, and then we see the next person go through the same experience of their curse. It's a real treat to have the first 2 films on Blu-ray because they were released straight to video before these films became such a smash hit. I hadn't actually seen the first 2 before, so it's brilliant to see where the seeds of the Ju-on universe comes from. That was a cool thing. Discs 2 and 3 are where you'll find the film that not only put Ju-on on the cultural map, but it was a film really that was vital to the explosion of Japanese horror, or J-horror in general. I'm a huge fan of the original film, and it's amazing to be able to watch it in UHD 4K. But honestly, the sound on this disc and the Blu-ray as well is amazing. I watched this on Friday night and I cranked it up through my system, and anybody who knows these films will recognize the really disturbing sounds the ghosts make. This horrible like sound, which I can't do. But seriously, it's just like moving around the room. The surround work on this is really impressive, and it really adds a lot to the experience and will probably make you soil your pants. Disc 4 has Ju-on the Grudge Part 2, which for me features one of my favorite segments of the entire Ju-on franchise. This is where a couple start to hear strange noises in their apartment, some banging on the living room walls. They can't explain it. And then they see a cup in the living room just sort of tip over. And then the woman comes home one day and sees what she thinks is the silhouette of someone hanging, but she switches the light on and realizes it's just shadows. But then one night the man is in the room when suddenly we see long black hair coming down from the frame. The top of the frame slides around his throat and hangs him. And then the woman comes home and the hair does the same to her, and that's all freaky enough. But then the little white boy, the white ghost boy appears and starts pushing the hanging corpses by the feet, swinging them back and forth like they're toys. And then you realize as he swings harder and harder, their shoes are hitting a cup and knocking it over. And then the shoes are starting to hit the wall rhythmically over and over. Bang, bang, bang. The exact same banging the couple heard leading up to it. Like they were somehow foreseeing or hearing the sound of their own death. Honestly, it's stuff like that gives you the shivers. It's certainly made me shiver. I just went for a walk with my wife and I had to retell her the entire segment just so she could get shivery too. Ju-on 2 also has a really messed up sequence on a bridge. It's impossible to forget once you see it, so that's really worth checking out. I think it's moments like this in these Ju-on movies that make you realize, you know, this is a different rhythm to maybe Hollywood horror, and that's what makes it so refreshing and actually so scary. Disc 5 features two Ju-on movies, White Ghost and Black Ghost. These are shorter at only an hour long. For me, some of the scares don't always hit home in those movies, but some of them still really do. In fact, there's a brutality to some of these films that are quite shocking. There's not many of the films where you see a father hold his daughter down and saw her head off while she's clutching a toy bunny, but that's Ju-on for you. Now, the set is absolutely rammed with extras like commentaries, newly recorded interviews, behind-the-scenes footage, plus interviews from on set and the time of the film being made. One extra really jumped out at me that I'd never heard of before, which is on the Grudge 2 disc, we get footage of the premiere, which includes an on-stage seance. It's pretty wild. So Arrow, anyway, gifted me this set on Friday, and I started watching it on Friday night, and I've just been devouring it ever since. I must admit, one of my kids walked in while I was watching The Grudge 2, and I said, "Do you want to stay?" And she watched most of it. Obviously, she covered her eyes for some of the really nightmarish parts, especially the birth scene at the end. But anyway, we won't go into that. But anyway, this is a fabulous set. Like I say, with loads of cool stuff. You can buy it directly from Arrow. If you use my special link in the description, you can then use code revpeterlaws and get 5% off. How about that? So that is code revpeterlaws for 5% off this entire set. But be warned though, these films have multiple scary images that are so unique, they tend to like lodge in your brain. I find that. So last night, for example, I woke up in the middle of the night because weirdly, I was sure I heard someone knocking on my window. I'm not on the ground floor. Anyway, nobody was there, thankfully, but did I toss and turn and struggle to get back to sleep for a while in that dark room? Yes. And was that because images from Ju-on was running through my mind? Absolutely, yes. So anyway, if you're happy with sleepless nights, click the link in the description and use revpeterlaws. Get yourself 5% off this amazing limited edition set. I'm Peter Laws, by the way, and if you want more spooky content, why not check out my podcast, Frightful, or maybe even try some of my books. Thanks.